Look, be honest with me for a second. It's the end of the month. You've paid rent, covered groceries, maybe swiped your card a few too many times on food delivery because you were tired, and now you're staring at your bank app. And there it is, $100. Not $10,000, not some fantasy number finance YouTube loves to throw around. Just $100 sitting there, quietly asking, okay, now what? And you're thinking, is this even worth investing? Like, can $100 actually change anything? Because part of you wants to be responsible, you've heard you're supposed to invest, but another part of you is like, what's the point? That's barely anything. If that thought has ever crossed your mind, that is literally most people. And honestly, that mindset right there is exactly why so many people stay stuck financially for years. My name is Shiri, and I spend way too much time thinking about personal finance and investing. If you're someone who wants to invest but feels like you're starting too late or don't have enough money to make it worth it, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Because today, I want to show you exactly how I would invest $100 if I were starting from scratch today, knowing what I know now. And I'm going to be honest with you right up front, this is probably not what you expect. Let's challenge the biggest lie first. Here's the thing, most people think investing is about how much money you start with. That is wrong, like provably mathematically wrong. According to a 2023 Vanguard study, over 90% of long-term investment returns are driven by behavior, consistency, and time in the market, not by how much you invest up front. Let me say that again, because it matters. How you behave with money matters more than how much money you have. Yet we obsess over the dollar amount. And that obsession, that's psychological, not mathematical. Now, you might be thinking, okay, Shiri, but come on, $100 isn't going to make me rich. You're right, but here's what most people don't realize. The purpose of your first $100 is not to make money. The purpose is to turn you into an investor. That distinction changes everything, because once you identify as someone who invests, even with $100, you start making different decisions. Psychologists call this identity-based behavior. James Clear talks about it in Atomic Habits, but this concept shows up everywhere in finance. People don't fail financially because they're bad at math. They fail because their identity never shifts. They say, I'll invest when I make more. I'm just not good with money. That's for rich people. And those beliefs quietly cost them hundreds of thousands of dollars over a lifetime. Let's do some very simple math. According to historical data from the S&P 500, the average annual return over the last 90-plus years is about 10% before inflation, around 7% after inflation. If you invest $100 one time and earn an average 7% over 40 years, that $100 becomes roughly $1,500. Is that life-changing by itself? No, but here's where it gets really interesting. If you invest $100 every month instead, that's $1,200 per year. Over 40 years at 7%, that turns into over $240,000. Same $100, different behavior. So how would I actually invest that first $100? All right, let's get practical. If I were starting today with no investments, no fancy portfolio, no head start, this is exactly what I would do. Step 1, I would not try to be smart. Look, I know this sounds counterintuitive, but the fastest way to lose money as a beginner is trying to be clever. Stock picking, crypto hopping, chasing whatever Reddit is screaming about this week. According to Dalbar's annual investor behavior report, the average investor underperforms the market by 3 to 4% per year because of emotional decisions. That's not a skill issue, that's a psychology issue. So my first $100 would go into one boring, low-cost, diversified investment. Step 2, the actual investment. Yes, I'm naming it, I would put that $100 into a total market index fund, something like a total US stock market ETF or an S&P 500 index fund. Why? Because you instantly own hundreds or thousands of companies. Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, yes, but also boring companies you've never heard of that quietly print money. Here's what most people don't realize. Diversification isn't about reducing returns. It's about reducing regret. One stock crashes, you don't panic. When one sector explodes, you still benefit. That emotional stability keeps you invested, which is where the real money gets made. But what if the market crashes? Ah yes, the classic objection. You might be thinking, what if I invest my $100 and the market drops tomorrow? First of all, welcome to investing. That happens. But let me flip this for you. If you're investing $100, a market crash is actually good news because it means everything just went on sale. According to Fidelity, the best performing portfolios over 20 years belong to people who forgot they had accounts or were too scared to touch them. Not the geniuses, not the traders, the people who did nothing. The real reason I'd start with $100. This might surprise you, but the biggest value of investing $100 has nothing to do with returns. It's about rewiring how your brain sees money. Once you invest, you start paying attention to markets. You learn how accounts work. You stop being afraid of volatility. And most importantly, you stop telling yourself the story that this isn't for me. That story is expensive. What would I do immediately after investing? Here's where most people mess up. They invest once and then stop. So here's exactly what I would do next. Automate the habit. I would set up automatic investing, even if it's $25 per paycheck, $50 per month. Why? Because willpower is unreliable. Automation removes emotion from the equation. According to a study by Morningstar, investors who automate contributions invest 40% more over time than those who don't. Not because they're smarter, because they don't have to decide. Let's talk about the psychology of waiting. Waiting feels responsible. I'll start when I earn more. I'll start after I pay this off. I'll start next year. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Waiting is a decision, and it has a cost. Every year you delay investing costs you exponentially more than the year before. Time is the only resource you can't earn more of. A quick story. This changed how I think about money. I once met two people, same age, same income, same starting point. Person A started investing $100 a month at 25. Person B waited until 35 and invested $200 a month. Person B invested more money. Person A retired with significantly more. Why? Time. Compounding doesn't reward effort, it rewards patience. What about debt, emergency funds, life? Yes, those matter. If you have high-interest credit card debt, zero emergency fund, then your first $100 might go towards financial stability, not investing. And that's okay. This isn't about rules, it's about priorities. But if you're relatively stable and just hesitating, that hesitation is costing you. Here's the framework I would follow. If I had $100 today, starting from zero, 1. Open a brokerage account, no perfection required. 2. Invest the $100 into a total market index fund. 3. Automate small, consistent contributions. 4. Ignore short-term noise. 5. Increase contributions as income grows. That's it. No complexity, no hype, no stress. Why does this work, even though it feels boring? Because boring is sustainable, and sustainable beats exciting every single time in finance. Most people don't lose money because they didn't know enough. They lose money because they couldn't stick with a plan. If you take nothing else from this video, remember this. Your first $100 isn't about money. It's about momentum. It's about proving to yourself that you can start, imperfectly, quietly, without waiting for permission. And once you start, everything changes. If this video helped shift how you think about investing, even a little, hit the like button so more people see it. Subscribe if you want honest conversations about money without the nonsense. And tell me in the comments, what's the biggest thing stopping you from investing right now? I'll see you in the next one.